Hello and welcome back to the Pet Business Wellbeing Podcast with me, Nathan Dunleavy. This is the podcast where we talk about the realities of running a pet business, the highs, the challenges, and most importantly, how to look after your well-being whilst you do it. Because running a business should support your life, not consume it. Fiona Pedley, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm good, and thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. I'm so glad you're okay. I'm in Southampton, you're in Devon, and the weather's not playing ball.
It's throwing it down out here.
Oh, wow. Well, at least we're inside in the warm. So brilliant. I'm really looking forward to chatting to you today. So thanks for coming on. So Fiona, for anyone who's listening that hasn't worked with a VA, a virtual assistant before, or maybe isn't quite sure what that looks like in their pet business, could we just start by sharing what a VA actually does and how you support business owners day to day, please?
Yeah. Well, I always sort of say the VA is the person who's in the background who help keep everything running. So, supporting, they go about doing their daily job, and I'm there in the background doing everything for them, what they don't need to be doing. So,
Yeah.
for my clients, that could look like keeping an eye on their membership, dealing with failed payments, loading new documents to the membership. It could be tidying up their client journeys, creating things for them, building automation, and also just strategic support as well. And very often I'm here to listen to them. But
Yeah.
it varies, and every client is different. And as I build my relationship with clients, that relationship deepens all the time. And I do, with most of my clients, end up being the person that they end up turning into when they've got a problem. And it might not always be to do with their business. It can be in life. I do often get messages from clients going, "Oh, you don't know what's going on in their life." Because when you run your own business, as you know, and you're on your own, it is you. And your personal life does come into your business life and vice versa. And sometimes it's very hard to draw that line between the two. You just need somebody there. And I am that person who's there for all my clients. So
Yeah, brilliant. So it kind of feels like you're there with a helping hand, a bit of a sounding board.
Yeah.
You mentioned, I can't even say that word, strategic support. So tell us a bit more about that.
strategic support is egoist and struggling to say it off. Quite a few of my clients we sit down at the beginning of every month on a call, and we look at what's going on in their business at that point, where they want to move to in that month, and how they're going to get there. And we look at offers, we look at what they're currently offering, and we to see whether they're offering things what maybe don't feel right at that right moment or just not working. And we just work through and just create a plan for that month. And then, I keep in touch with them throughout that month, checking in and seeing where they are and seeing what help they need. And I work alongside them with it. And I do sort of like, I set them tasks and then I do part of the tasks for them, doing the bits what they find too hard or just don't want to do. That tends to be sort of strategic. And again, it's that sound board with them when they get ideas. And, I get messages. I always leave my phone downstairs on the night because I do find that with a lot of pet owners, their thinking time actually comes late on the night.
Yeah.
And their brain dump into my WhatsApp on the night time.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. What's that? Sorry?
I said, so the phone stays downstairs.
No, I don't blame you. And I was just about to say you've created a healthy boundary there because, obviously you're a business owner. The pet pros you're working with are all also business owners. But as I can speak from experience, as a business owner myself and as a pet pro, my mind is constantly busy racing around with different thoughts. And it's quite hard to kind of shut off sometimes. And I do have like a business phone, a work phone, and a personal phone, and I have got a lot better. Like I don't take it on holiday with me, or when it's my day off, I leave it at home. But I like how you've created a healthy boundary because it must be hard for you to switch off as well then.
It is at times. And I know, like, a lot of the throws, obviously, they work weekends, especially dog trainers. And I don't know if, dog walkers as well, the island groomers.
Yeah,
But they're
some, yeah.
working weekends, whereas I don't work weekends. So
Mm,
I just sort of say, if you want to send messages on a weekend, feel free to send them, but I don't respond to them and I don't look at them. And,
that's good.
I make that clear when I start working with people, so it's fine, they know about it. And
Mm.
they can quite happily send the messages, but I just won't look at them until Monday when next working. It is that boundary what I've created in there for them.
No,
It gives
that's really,
peace to do it when they
yeah,
do.
it's really important because we'll come on to about how you helped me or how you've been helping me in a bit. But I did notice on your email signature, or it might have been your out of office, that you do have set work hours, and I really liked that. But do you find it's hard to stick to them sometimes?
Not too bad, but because, I mean, it can be a good thing and a bad thing, but, I come from a corporate world originally. So, I'm
Same.
an executive assistant for 20 years, so I work set hours. And my
Mm,
husband's still employed, he works set hours. And that
mm.
Monday to Friday traditional 9 till 5 does work for me.
Good.
But, like now it's the winter, so many nights a week I will finish mid-afternoon and take the dog for a walk in the daylight, so we're not walking around in the dark. And then I work
Good.
the extra hour. So last night I was working till 8 o'clock
Yeah.
because I'd been out during the day and after 2 hours out with the dog and being for a cup of tea in the harbour, and so I'm out in the day. And then if I need to do stuff, I will then carry on an evening.
Mm. How lovely is that? How lovely is that, though, that you've got that flexibility as well, that you've taken a couple of hours during the day, you wanted to walk the dog when it was light, and then, like you say, you've just worked a little bit late, but you do have that flexibility, which is great.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. I'd love
That.
what's that, sorry?
So it can be hard to create that flexibility, no?
Yes. I think it's important though, because we're business owners for a reason. Like, being a business owner, being self-employed is hard work. And if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. And obviously not everyone does do it. Your husband's employed, my husband's employed. My husband doesn't quite understand it sometimes when what comes with running a business. But it isn't easy, but it is obviously very rewarding because you get to choose your hours, you get to choose who you work with and things like that. I'd love to actually just rewind a little bit and just find out a little bit about obviously your history and how you came to setting up the Canine VA. You mentioned the corporate world there, and I did read that on your website before, but I'm from a corporate background as well. So what made you decide to become a VA and then specifically decide to niche down to just pet professionals?
Because I've worked 17 years as an executive assistant supporting CEOs and I worked for Carillion. I was
Oh, right.
there until they went into liquidation and I left quite late in that process because I was kept on. So
Mm.
I was dealing with not so nice things at the end, but I left and then I got another job. And months down the line, I was made redundant again.
Oh,
And
gosh.
I got another job, which I didn't enjoy. And I was looking to get out. And then COVID hit.
Oh, yes.
At that time, I was furloughed. And I was furloughed for 8 weeks. And the job I
Wow.
was in then, I was the sole executive assistant to the directors and the HR. And they never contacted me once in 8 weeks. And it's alarm
Blimey.
bells ringing with me that they weren't in touch for anything. And obviously they were allowed to get in touch with me. And they weren't.
Mm.
And I was like thinking, I need to do something about it. I don't like the job anyway. So I started sort of digging around in the executive assistant Facebook groups, looking for ideas. And there was a couple of VA mentors that were in there talking
Oh,
about it. And at that time, I hadn't really heard of it myself.
oh,
People had said to me, my boss had said to me when it was at Carillion, when it was collapsing, why don't you set up your own business? But that was as far as it went. And I never sort of thought, oh, well, that's a VA.
mm,
Well, I ended up signing up with somebody in the group to learn about it and decided that I'd set my own business up along
mm.
your current job. So
Yeah.
my current role, and started in business. When I first started, I sort of went, well, I've worked in the construction industry. I've been a dog trainer for 7, 8 years. I've had my own,
Oh, have you?
yeah, yeah. I worked alongside a dog trainer and I used to run his lessons and I've got,
Oh,
I probably don't stand anymore, but I was certified by the Kennel Club to assess the puppy bronze, gold and silver Kennel Club awards.
oh, okay.
And they've got certificates for that. I'd done that, but I was firing all different directions. And then I had a conversation with big VA code. You know, and I was like, okay. And she said, I know where you need to be. She said, what do you do? Looking at the canine industry. I was there. She
Yeah.
said, you put a photograph of the dogs on everything you post. Talk about an email sequence or anything. It's got the dogs on, which it was, because I just didn't know what to post. So I'm just
Mm.
the dog saying, you know, you need a VA.
Yeah.
So that was what got me started in issue. And it
Mm.
was because obviously my corporate background fits nicely with professional, the confidentiality. And then because I've got the dog training history and got my own dog that I've got now, you
Mm.
know, that was the right combination to balance it out. And so I just, well, you know, go for it all or nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm still employed at the time.
Yeah.
I did it for about a year and a half while I was working full time as well. And then,
Right.
so I just got to the point where I said to my husband, I either need to take the gamble and go for it, or I need to look it in because I can't build the business actually working because I'm such
Mm.
a high role with the level of work I did. I couldn't do both. So he
Yeah.
made the decision, right, we give it a go. And he gave me a year. He said, if we can't make enough money in the first year, you know, for us to be able to live, you know, and everything, then you'll have to call it quits. But fortunately, it worked and it did then.
Oh,
And
wow.
I always said sort of I hated leaving my dogs. I hated going out
Yeah.
and being out all day, leaving the dogs. Then, you know, like in COVID, I was able to work from home. I used to sit and watch them at the side of me in their beds, and they were always down in and out. And that was sort of my inspiration as well, like,
Mm.
you know, to go and do that and to support myself. And I sort of say, you know, you never know what's going to happen in life. And, you know, as a business owner, it's a roller coaster. It's up and down. One minute you think, oh, it's fantastic. The next minute you think, okay. But it's
Yeah.
if you're employed, but I just sort of think, well, if I'm doing it myself, you know, I feel a bit more like I'm the master of my own destiny type thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm making it happen for me rather than it,
Yeah.
you know, somebody who doesn't know me. So looking at your name on a list.
Yeah. Brilliant. So how long has the Canine VA been going now then?
Yeah. When we get to January, it'll be 5 years. Now, so, you know, it's sort of yeah.
Right. Oh, wow. Okay. I love that. Absolutely love that. And you've just relocated as
Yes.
well, but it doesn't matter because your clients are all, I guess, all over. And
Yeah,
obviously
yeah,
that's the whole point of being
yeah.
virtual.
I mean, I've met a couple of my clients, but not many. Most of them is, you
You,
know, online, like job chatting to you,
oh,
you
okay.
know, please when I meet them. But you know, I've got a client in Australia, America, Austria,
Oh, wow. Worldwide.
UK. And you know, I think I go from one end of the UK, so I've got clients in London, you know, and I'm going, you know, it's not across the UK.
Yeah. So
As you
with
said,
them being,
church doesn't.
yeah, so with them being like worldwide, do you then have to
Oh, sorry.
factor in the time difference and stuff?
Yeah, so this morning, I had a call with my clients in Australia. So it's 8:30 in the morning here, and it was
Mm.
7:30 at night there. But that worked
Right.
again because she'd been out and so then by night with me.
Yeah.
Got her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So you got to factor all that in. Brilliant. So the word VA as well, and the job role. Do you think it's since COVID that it's become a bit more popular? Because you never used to hear of the word of like a virtual assistant or like a VA. It would be like a PA.
Yeah.
But do you think it's since think it?
I think it has become more popular. COVID, definitely. I mean, there is,
Yeah.
well, I know people who call themselves virtual PAs or virtual EAs still, because they don't want to say the virtual assistants, but it's all different terminology. They're still doing the same, running a business, but doing it virtually,
Yeah.
different,
Yeah.
terms that you want to use. But I think probably business owners have become more aware of it, definitely, since
Mm.
COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So obviously, let's talk about how you helped me.
Yeah.
You came on board. So you must enjoy like doing like techie stuff or like the technical stuff because it doesn't go for me. Give me sort of people and dogs any day, but tech, it doesn't work. So I'm a bit of a control freak as well. So I like to kind of just try and do things myself.
Yeah.
But sometimes you've got to just admit defeat and get someone in that can help. I mean, what might be something that I'm not very good at is something that's one of your strengths. And I was trying to do this particular task on my own, and I'd literally spent the whole weekend doing it. Yeah, it just kind of I couldn't get it to work properly. And it's to do with an email automation in MailerLite. And basically, I've never done anything like that before. I've only recently just started using MailerLite. And then I'm all of a sudden trying to set up a funnel and an email sequence and automation. And I had to just admit defeat and get in your help, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
The thing is,
oh, go
I
on.
think what sometimes people think, and it's like you as well, I think with your thinking is, like, you're a control freak. And
Yeah.
nothing wrong with being that, because our businesses are our baby. We've worked hard to build them up, and it's hard for people to let go unless
Mm.
start doing things for you. But
Yeah.
the thing is, like you're saying, what you struggle to do is something what's I'm in my element doing. And a lot of
Yeah.
times people think it's a weakness. They can't things or they have to. It's a good strategic decision, because
Mm.
spent all weekend doing that. Could have been resting or, enjoying a day out with your husband, but instead you were sat, staring,
Yeah.
ready to throw it out the window.
Yeah.
So a good strategic decision being to pick up earlier over the weekend.
No, that would have been a better decision. But the thing is, I was determined to try and do it myself. And, I'm part of Dr. Holly Tett's business coaching membership. And she basically says, like, if you are outsourcing something, you do need to have a basic knowledge of it
Yeah.
yourself. As any CEO or business owner, like, it's fine outsourcing. She uses VAs and stuff, but you do need to have a basic understanding of how it works.
That's right.
Yeah, and I liked that obviously you'd sent me some videos because she's really big on basically getting like the person to video what they've done in case you need to refer back to it. But yeah, I was just so determined to try and do it myself, but then I just had to admit defeat and just be like, well, I need to get this working, and I was just going to spend more time on it, so I needed to pass it on to someone that kind of knew what they were doing.
But no, I think that I do it. I do things. I remember battling my first tax return,
Yeah,
and I got part way through it, and then I met the defeat
yeah,
and got in touch with the accountant I was following at the time and said, I can't do it.
yeah,
No, but then again, I kept thinking, there's not much to put in it because I've only been going 2 months. It can't be that hard. Surely I
yeah.
with all the things I do, and I did. I'm battled every weekend trying to do it, thinking I don't want to pay to do it. I'm doing it myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, outsourcing, it, this for me because it costs to outsource for investment rather than an expense.
I love that.
Because
Yeah.
while you were investing in me to sort your main lighter, so it gave that you knew it was off your plate. It gave
Yeah.
time to get back out there working or time to rest. And
Mm.
they're the things you've got to look at. That way, outsourcing it means that you can do things that only you can do.
Yeah.
And we
No,
do what I can do to help.
yeah. No, do you know what? I love that. I love how you framed it as an investment,
Yeah,
because it is an investment in you and your business. Yeah, it can go down as a business expense. That's fine, but it's not, try not to look at it as an expense. Look at it as an investment, and what is it giving you back? So by outsourcing it, it then, like you say, freed up my time to be able to have some time off on a Sunday when I try not to work, or, go and do some other bits. But it's funny because I outsource my bookkeeping. So it's funny you said about the tax return. So I outsource my bookkeeper, and it just all goes off to my bookkeeper. All my website stuff, as you know, is outsourced to Rosie.
yeah.
So everything to do with my website. So actually, why was I trying to like fight it? Like, because I already outsource. So yeah, I'm thinking, even just sat here thinking about, why was I fighting it? Because I outsource other stuff. So it was just something else that I could get out help
That's
with.
it. Yeah. But I mean, say I outsource my bookkeeping, and I said maybe a goal for me for 2026 is to maybe look at getting a VA for myself. Yep.
Oh, really?
What I'm starting, could get someone else to do, so I can spend my time doing more the things that only I will do, or only I can do for my business.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So that's interesting, because I must admit, like, you probably spend your time helping other business owners, but what about your
yeah.
business? You've got to promote, advertise, and market your business. I guess sometimes, like with everything, that might doesn't really get much attention.
I struggle in my business to put time in for my. So I
Yeah.
will create a block in my diary. I call it CEO time. And that
Oh, I love that.
time that I'm supposed to be working on my business and saying no to the client
Yeah.
to be.
Oh, right. Do you not always stick to them
Because the
blocks?
client saying, any chance this done today for me? And I look at my diary and think, well, I've got 2 hours, what was for me to do something. Well, I'll go, yeah, okay then.
Well, the intention's there, so that's the important thing. The intention's there. But I guess, yeah, and then you get someone like me messaging you, panicking, like, "Oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. Help!"
I probably moved on to
Oh, you probably did. Bless you. So, do you have anything that you enjoy doing? Obviously, I know you're like the mailer light queen, and obviously, you deal with mailer light, but your role must be quite varied. Is there something that like you enjoy doing more, that I don't know, like, yeah, what is there something that's, yeah, that kind of floats your boat more than other things,
I
or?
love, I really love unraveling people's minds with them. So,
Mm,
having strategic calls or mind mapping calls with them. I have a call, I have different calls, what I call them, but, basically, we can have a call with someone because they don't know which direction to go in there. And they literally
mm,
just unravel. And
yeah,
so I really enjoy those calls because I sit and listen, I record it, I take notes, and then I just unravel it, and then I'll go back to them and say, this is what I heard, and this is what you
yeah,
should be doing from what I know about it. This is where your strengths lie. And I
mm,
enjoy that. That's
yeah,
probably one of the things I enjoy doing.
yeah,
I do enjoy building MailerLite sequence,
yeah.
getting landing pages in MailerLite. I enjoy building courses, but
Oh,
a lot
okay.
of online courses. And I really
Good to know. Right, okay.
like
So, how did you become such a whiz at mailer light then? Was it just that because you've used it previously, or
used
just
it a
because?
lot. I've always been quite techy, so I can work my way around it.
Yeah.
I did like your Wix yesterday. That was the first
Oh,
time
okay.
on Wix. But because I'm using so many different systems now, I find
Yeah.
most following the same pattern, way
Yeah.
of working. They all have their own little quirks. They're like take
Yeah.
a bit longer to find out how to set something up. But on the whole, I tend to find most of them do follow the same pattern. you're good with tech, then it's not drawn to new packages. In the beginning, I knew MailerLite and MailChimp were quite popular, so when I
Yeah,
wasn't doing it full time, I got spare time. I used to sit and watch videos on YouTube and things like that. I
that's a
watched
good shout.
their tutorials on how to do it.
Yeah,
But
no, that's good. Yeah, I've heard about MailChimp, but I don't hear very good things about MailChimp. I think people favour MailerLite instead.
I find MailerLite more intuitive. Found
Right.
clients come to me and say they want an emailing platform. What would I recommend? It all does
Mm.
depend on what they're at, what their goal is.
Mm.
But if they say, what do you think about MailChimp? I'll say, I'd rather you use MailRite. Or another, but I have got quite a confined MailChimp, so I do,
Yeah.
I don't like it. Rosie will vouch from the swearing that I've had when I've been working on MailChimp, and
Oh,
we've had a common client, and we've both been, I've been doing MailChimp and doing
I know you do tag teams sometimes and stuff, don't you?
quite a lot of
Yeah.
them.
So I love that you've basically said you enjoy tech and you love tech, whereas a lot of people like me, like, I don't enjoy tech. So
Yeah.
that's why it's always good to have people in your network that that can do that sort of stuff. I'd be really interested to know. So, like someone like me, then you you must have come up against some obstacles and resistance. So you've got a business owner like me. I'm a perfectionist, like things done a certain way, control freak, really struggle to let go of things. How do you sort of overcome that in terms of, making, well, not making it, but like helping them realize that it just would make sense to outsource?
Build trust. And like
Mm,
as you say, you were with Paul. You got to know me. You followed me on social media. You've seen me. And if you hadn't, I know you asked, can somebody recommend someone? And I think all the answers came back was Fiona.
yeah, they were.
Because people would go, oh, so and so's going to do something or whatever. And I advise it about the things they know I can help you with that. I think
Mm,
you will then go and check you out, and they can
yeah.
see that you know how to does make it easy. And sometimes it's conversation just sort of explaining it, saying, look, from what you've shown me, I know I can do that in an hour.
Yeah.
And it'll cost you whatever. What can you do in
Mm,
that hour? You might be able to earn more than I'm charging you in that hour, depending on what you do.
exactly. Giving that time back.
That's it. I mean, I've got all my careers vary. I've got a vet, I've got an acupuncturist, I've got a hydrotherapist, a
Really?
client who runs hydrotherapy centres. So they can earn more in an hour, as a vet, than what I'm
Mm,
charging them to sort out something while they'd sit and spend ages doing and
mm,
struggle to do it and get stressed, get wound up, and get
mm,
exhausted. And it all compounds, doesn't it, to that feeling of everything getting on top of you as a business owner, and it's just
mm.
taking that away from them.
Yeah. No, that's good. Just going back to, I keep going back to it, going back to Made a Light. It's so funny, right? Because I've been using it for a little while for my walk-in mentor business, and I had my freebie set up on that. But then I started using it obviously to send like weekly
Yeah.
emails. But obviously, where I've launched the Pet Business Wellbeing Mentor in the last few months, and I'm going to be doing sort of more sort of courses and digital resources. I'm going to be launching a group mentoring membership. I needed to find a home
Yeah.
for the Pet Business Wellbeing Mentor and to obviously that's going to house all those bits. And I'm going with Member Vault purely because it zincs with
Yeah.
MailerLite. So because I don't want to move away from MailerLite because I've just got used to MailerLite. I don't want to set up all the funnel anywhere else and move it all over. I'm happy with MailerLite. I'm choosing a membership platform purely based on that it partners with MailerLite.
But that is the daft thing to do, because
No,
if you've already got one system, what you use a lot, and there's a lot of it, and
yeah,
like I say, now you want something to start building courses on, it
Mm,
makes sense to find something that will integrate straight into your email
mm.
platform. Yes, you
It's
could use something what needs a third party like Zapier or Zapier, whichever you want to call it. And yeah, that works. It adds that extra barrier in for something to break in
I didn't want that.
into each other. So finding a platform that talks to the one you love, just makes absolute perfect sense at the end of the day.
Yeah, and Holly was basically saying that we shouldn't go to have everything all in one. It works to have like
Yeah.
sort of ones that work well together. So like your email marketing mailer like goes with a member vault, and then I'm probably gonna have to look at Vimeo or whatever it is to host my videos because member vault doesn't host some videos. I would have liked to have it there together, but then she said don't have it all in one. So I used Loom, and I've just realised that I can use Loom initially for some of my stuff rather than paying out for something else at the moment until I need to, maybe 6 months down the line. So I use Loom. But yeah, so I've been doing sort of shopping around for like course
Yeah.
platforms. So but it had to zinc with
Yeah.
MailerLite.
I mean, there's always pros and cons of everything, and a platform will go down, and you'll see the people who love the all-in-ones. Said if you'd have been using my all-in-one, you'd have nothing go down today. But then they get this
Mm.
morning, Cloudflare was down.
I saw something.
I was trying to get onto Wise, to check my international banking layout, my overseas customers, and I couldn't get on it because that had gone down again, and that affected loads of platforms. Some of those old
Mm.
platforms could be on there. I don't know because I haven't particularly tended to look into them because I do prefer to have a few different ones because I always think, well, yes, one might go down. Technology, something, does go down. But if you've got a whole
Mm.
wall of something goes, the whole thing can go. So
That's
for
it.
me, I sort of think it's better to have a couple that are working really well together.
Yeah, don't always have all your eggs in one
Yeah,
basket.
it's that well, yeah.
I'd love to know if there's like a common theme or like the top three things that you're helping pet pros with. Is it all the same stuff? Is there a common theme of like tasks that pet pros need, or is it quite generic depending on the pet pro?
And a common theme that I do have is emails, newsletters.
Mm.
I think I probably do an email, weekly or monthly email, for most of my clients.
Oh, really?
That is definitely a core thing.
Mm.
I'm doing the building of the automation behind those as well and set the
Yeah.
codes, groups, and things like that. But yeah, email is probably the biggest task for
Mm.
clients.
It probably keeps it a bit varied as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, because even if I think,
Yeah.
oh, it's another email, everybody's email is different, and I create something different for everybody.
Mm.
Up to what,
Yeah.
one of my clients' emails, what we sent out on Monday, I said to her, oh, have you got time for anyone to come before Christmas? And she said, yeah, why
Mm.
were you thinking? And I said, well, off the back of your email, I've put together a special package from XYZ, what you've mentioned. And she was like, oh. And she now sold 5 of those this week.
Really?
So,
Yeah.
little things like that. And I always think that's where, I add value. Like, because
Definitely.
I know the industry and I understand it, I can come up with these different ideas.
Mm. No, I love that. Brilliant. All right. So, as we start wrapping up, then, if you could leave us pet pros with one message about letting go, let it go, about getting support and allowing space for rest and growth, what would you want them to hear, Fiona?
What I'd say is letting go isn't a weakness. It's a good business strategy because by
Mm.
letting go, it creates space for you, and it creates that
Yeah.
space for you either to go and do what only you can do. It creates space for you to rest as well, which probably is the most important thing because you can't build a business if you're burnt out. You look
Mm-mm.
after yourself and do well-being as you promote. And
Yeah.
find outsourcing and letting go, then you are creating that space to allow the rest and for you to go and do what only you can do. And it's not a weakness, a good strategic decision. This is
Yeah.
what I'd say.
Yeah. No, I love that. And it's funny, as we've been chatting, I've just been thinking, need to practice what I preach more, because with some of my mentees, I do tell them to like look at outsourcing to a VA, because there might be stuff like they don't enjoy social media or they don't enjoy writing emails. And I'm like, oh, you need to maybe look at getting a VA on board or outsourcing, because Holly's a big advocate of like, even if you just start with 1 hour a
Yeah.
week and then build on that, you know?
And that's it. And doing things you don't enjoy doing, like you just said, social media, that's what a lot of business owners don't enjoy doing. I don't really
Mm,
enjoy doing it. And it's not, I don't offer social media as, in a big way. I do social media for some clients, for a long-standing client, but it's not a service I offer
mm,
because I'm not a social media strategist. It's just not, what I enjoy spending my time doing. But
yeah.
if you don't enjoy doing something, then and you have to do a lot of it, then that can create that big bound.
Mm,
But
yeah.
you do have to encourage, and it's like you say, you've got to practice what you preach. And I don't practice what I preach sometimes, but
It's always the way, innit? I need to take my own advice. I actually enjoy social media,
yeah,
so it's not something that I outsource because I like doing it. So I think again, it's just playing to your
yeah,
strengths and then getting support with things that that aren't your strengths, you know?
yeah, practice.
Yeah. Brilliant. All right, Fiona, where can our listeners find out more about you and your work, please?
Yeah. My website is www.thecanineva.co.uk. I'm on Facebook and Instagram as the Canine VA. I'm also on LinkedIn, and that's under my name as Fiona Pedley, the Canine VA.
Perfect. Well, I'll put all the links in the show notes. But Fiona Pedley from the Canine VA, thank you so much for joining me on the Pet Business Wellbeing Podcast today. I've really enjoyed chatting to you.
Thanks for having me, Nathan. I really enjoyed chatting to you. Hopefully that
You're ma-
hasn't caused too many problems with that.
oh well, I'll go. I'll watch it all back, and then I'll be able to see what's going on. So no worries. But thank you so much. I'm just popping on just to say I'm really sorry if you had some problems with the sound and listening to today's episode. There was really bad weather where Fiona is based in Devon, and we've not got great weather here in Southampton either, so there might be some background noise. So do turn up your volume quite loud, and apologies if there's any background noise. But as I've said previously, I'm not very techie. This podcast goes out completely raw and I do very minimal editing. So I do apologise in advance for the background noise, if there is any, and I really hope you enjoyed the episode. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Pet Business Wellbeing Podcast. If you enjoyed today's chat, I'd love it if you could share it with a friend, subscribe so you don't miss future episodes, and please leave me a review, as it really helps me to reach more pet professionals that need this kind of support. Until next time, take care of yourself, look after your well-being, and remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about building a business you actually enjoy being in. Bye for now.